When I came across the story, it was indeed heartbreaking for me because I thought you only find things like this in a fiction novel, right? Or maybe you watch it in in a movie or something like that. I didn't think it was a thing that existed, in terms of like reality, right? But I got my reality check with this particular story. So let's jump right into it. Nigeria is the biggest producer of oil in the whole of Africa. And in the world, it ranks 15th, right? Now, the problem with this is Nigeria doesn't have any government owned refineries. This means that when this oil is accrued, when it's gathered from the ground, it has to be exported, right? Refined out of the country, then brought back into the country before they can start to sell it to the everyday people. Now, when that transaction is done, oil price goes up, right? So the average person have hard time being able to afford it. But that's not the gist though. The gist is that finally a miracle happened, which is the work of a wealthy man in Nigeria. This guy, Dangote, is the richest man in the whole of Africa, and he ranks some numbers in the world, right? So this man right here, Mr. Aliko, decided to build a refinery in the heart of Lagos in hopes that Nigeria wouldn't export its oil outside of the country, right? This is indeed an exciting moment for Nigeria. There were people even praying that this thing works. I mean, it was so good. But guess what though? The story only gets better from here, and this is where the heartbreaks begin. Then in August of this year, this guy right here, a journalist based in Nigeria, was reached out by an organization called Dialogue Earth. That's what they call themselves. And they told this guy right here to write a negative review on the refinery that has just been built by Mr. Aliko Dangote. So this is the message that the journalist, the Nigerian-based journalist, put on his Twitter page or X page, just kind of allowing us to see the type of email he received from Dialogue Earth, right? And he also went on to say in this particular statement, if you can see it, that this is what the West do to keep Africa in poverty. And they wanted him to write saying that Aliko's refinery is a danger to the environment and it would increase climate disaster. So these are my words though, but that's pretty much what these statements behind my head is saying. And it was heartbreaking for me because you would think that everyone is on your side when you're progressing, right? Not knowing that they have people literally there sitting down waiting for you to progress a bit and then find a way to stomp on you and to bring you down. And that is what is heartbreaking about the whole story. The fact that as Africa continues to rise, there are countries and people in place that are hoping that we stay where we are. This particular organization, Dialogue Earth, is based in London, and it was founded or is being headed by a guy named Sam something. Sam something, who is an Oxford professor, and it just breaks my heart that that the English people, based on what they've done to Africa, particularly Nigeria, they're still trying to find a way to keep us where we are. So it's a chronic illness. To actually wake up every day and find a way to put people down and keep them in poverty and keep them divided. It is a chronic disease. It is a mental problem. It's something that somebody needs to go in and correct. Like, how the heck do you think it's fair, right, for you to constantly drain from a country that can't even use its resources to better its own people? And when they try, this is the kind of crap that happens. It is heartbreaking. It was a heartbreaking story for me. But I must say though, the Nigerian journalist who refused to take the bribe because they were going to give him 800, I think it was 800,000 naira for him to write this article, and he refused to take the bribe because he knows that that money only solved temporal problems, right? But the issue about Africa progress is a lifelong one, and you can take the money today, but the issue in your country remains. So he was smart enough to refuse it and smart enough to actually expose them. So I'm not shocked now because I'll probably start to see more stories like this. And I want to say kudos to the journalist and Mr. Aliko. Thank you for building a refinery for Nigeria. Africa only gets better from here. I'm hoping and I'm praying with everyone for real. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.